guys, welcome back to another episode of E&Ftv. Today we have a brand new guest on the show, and that is Carina Stegmayer. Hello there, Carina. How are you doing?
Hi, Tom. Pleasure. Doing well.
Lovely to have you on. Lovely to have you on. Just for the purpose of our audience, Carina is the co-founder of GauVendi, which is an exciting tech solution that we're going to be talking about today. Carina, I would love to hear all about GauVendi. I'd love to hear all about your background and also, I suppose, what makes GauVendi so different. So just before we get into it, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for tuning into this week's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're working really hard to bring you some value-added content every single week without fail, and we're really trying to grow the channel. So we're at 220 subscribers now, but we'd love to get that to 300. So please do head over to the YouTube channel, press subscribe. It's completely free, and we hope you enjoy the episode. So, Carina, thanks so much for coming on. First off, tell us a bit about yourself, your background, what brought you to start GauVendi?
Yeah, so actually, I'm a bit of a veteran already. I'm over 25 years in the industry. Actually, always international and always for the independent. So, independent hotels is where I've worked for. Hotel International, some of you know, particularly in the UK. Really learned a lot there, and then further on moved to World Hotels, where I worked quite some time. Some people know it as Steigenberger Reservation Service. Meanwhile, it's part of Best Western. And there I built up what you call today the customer success management, revenue management. I was in charge of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Very strong in the UK, actually, at that time. Worked a lot in that market, and then further on I moved into the distribution operations side. So I was heading up the global distribution for World Hotels, everything what is about GDS, internet, booking engines, etc. You name it, interfaces. That's where I was then most of my time. And the past couple of years really worked my time in startups, also for the industry. So and then now it's GauVendi, which we founded.
No, amazing. And I suppose, because obviously when we previously spoken, and of course we got the intro from Rita. Hi Rita, big shout out. What I realized was, your background is extensive and certain and actually quite varied, which means you've really had I wouldn't say a wide scope, I'd actually say a very focused scope, but across all areas of commercial. And as you say, and also the guest experience, which I suppose from looking at GauVendi, it makes so much sense where to watch your journey and where this is now. And I suppose that brings me on to my next question, of course. Tell it, just for the benefit of the audience, tell us a bit about GauVendi, what it does, and how I suppose it benefits the hospitality industry, I suppose.
So actually, it's true. It's mainly because of the independent, to be honest, because we always, when we did site inspections, you would see a hotel and you go and see this room, you get told, oh, and this is our standard room, and this is a standard, and that's a superior, and you're like, oh, hold on, this looks so different from this one, and actually, I want to be here, and I don't want to be next to the elevator, but this one has a balcony. Oh, we don't tell anyone because it's just one, right? So this is a bit more where it came from, that we noticed this, but what we found out was there's so many guests who have preferences. Look at TripAdvisor. You see people sending messages to others. Hey, if you stay in this hotel, ask for this and that. Basically, there are guests demanding specific features of a room, or they have preferences. If you travel with a family, you want rooms next to each other, you want to have connecting rooms, what have you, right? As of that moment, in hospitality, you will have to send an email or call, and then even if you get the request confirmed, you need to hope it's really happening, right? So this is more where it came from. And what do we do with GauVendi? So when we realized that the reason why we can't fulfill guest preferences or wishes that we as a host would love to do, is because it's cumbersome. It's huge manual effort. You need to block a room. You need to work around it. You can't actually do it. And if you don't know your inventory in and out, you don't know where's the best view, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's where it came from. And what we did and what we figured out is that categories are not the smallest denominator to define inventory. It's actually the room itself. And at GauVendi, what we did is we changed the way room inventory is being managed and sold for the entire industry.
Right.
So we came more from exactly what you said, from the experience point of view. So the first thing what we built was a sales engine, which replaces a booking engine. It's basically AI driven. It's proactive. It changes when two people ask for it. When the length of stay changes, right? So then the offer also changes. You don't want to see standard room, superior, deluxe, one person traveling, two people traveling, three nights traveling, etc. This is where we came from. But meanwhile, we have now an AI-driven, feature-based inventory platform, and based on that platform, we have various solutions. It's almost like a layer that can even run between existing tech stacks. That's where we are today. Yeah.
I suppose then, in terms of, because of course, there are a lot of tech solutions out there, right? And we've spoken about this previously. And a lot of hoteliers, of course, they're getting calls and messages all the time about, we've got this amazing tech solution. I suppose my question is, what makes, because again, I know, because we've already spoken about it, but for the benefit of the audience, what sets GauVendi apart from the rest? What's different about this solution that is so innovative, and why hoteliers would want to get involved?
So I think there's one thing which is really, I think, very different, is we're using AI.
Yes.
And secondly, we have automated the processes that run after any personalization you want to offer. Everyone is speaking since many years. I've been attending so many HETNA conferences, and we've been discussing about attribute-based selling, right? Everyone talks about it. There've been numerous customer reviews asking people, what have you. Everyone says, yes, I would even be prepared to pay more. So what does set us apart? The first thing is we can monetize idle assets, right?
Yes.
So, and I don't talk about only the boutique hotels, because these are the ones who feel it today, and they are our, obviously very natural clients, because they have these differences and they have a huge difficulty in clustering things to be looking a sea of sameness. But everyone else has, even if you have a purpose-built hotel, you have rooms that are quiet, you have high floor, low floor, views, etc. So you have enough differences. But what is most important in this context is that you automate the process behind it. So you enable personalization towards the front, but you also automate the process behind it. So we assign rooms immediately, and we have functionality to also optimize the room assignment afterwards. So you can maximize occupancy. All of that has to work in an automated fashion, not a digital. Digital is one thing, but it doesn't help always, to really reduce workload. Perhaps you move something from reservations to the hotel, to the guest, right? And they have to fill out now things. But what you really need to do is you need to automate processes that are not adding value, because the booking is done, the revenue is made, right? You don't want to touch it. The more often you touch this reservation, because you move it around and you have to handle stuff manually, you lose the net revenue. So one thing is really, coming back to your question, idle assets can be monetized. You're more transparent about your products, because you have your rooms that may not be so nice. But hey, my purpose is in and out. I'm coming late, I'm going out. I don't care about a view. I would have the cheapest room. Oh, it's towards the front and it's perhaps a bit more noisy. Fine, but the price point is okay for me. So even these rooms can be sold. It's about a transparent booking. And on the guest side, the guest can book by their preferences. As a matter of fact, over 60% of all our bookings that we get are on higher value products. We have over 30 hotels live, and all of them, right? Some more, right? In leisure destinations, we get over 20% of the guests booking the rooms by their preference, right? So they get really their match. But in average, 15% really configure basically the room they want, get a percentage match. 20% take the guest preference, so most popular. That's the AI-driven thing. It's as easy as in Amazon as well, right? Other people book. You just go for it. And if I push that in front and say, hey, that's the right one, others book that as well, you're like, hey, cool, I haven't been in the hotel. That's a good choice, right? Then we have recommendations. It's also AI driven, also like approximately 15%, right? Depending leisure, business, you see business hotels tend to have perhaps more 15%, leisure hotels more towards the 20%. And then the others, they book direct higher value products that we put towards in front of the shelf, right? It's almost like in the supermarket as well. You very consciously put things towards the front and people select it. You need to make it easy. And I think this is, when we think about the history and how we manage distribution, the only way how we could actually sell our inventory was simplifying it by categories. Otherwise, the structure of technology wasn't digestible. Any user, you go to the website, you see 20 room categories. Now you see 3, but you see 20 rate plans. It's as bad. It's same but different, right? This is bad. People just don't know what is now the difference, semi-flexible, flexible, and in the end, then they go and book somewhere else where they get just 2 options, they're flexible, and off you go, right? So this is really the most important thing, the option. You may have guests who don't want it, fine, but you have as many, over 60%, who want it. And all these have to send you an email, have to do efforts to actually get what they want. Most of the time they don't. And that needs this enabling the personalization is one big element, and at the same time the automation in the background and using the latest technology for it.
I was going to say it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because hoteliers are so focused now on the guest experience, and from what you're describing, sounds to me, and I hope I'm accurate in this, but you're giving the guest more autonomy to make a decision that's right for them, rather than giving them set options. But you're also putting in almost suggestive selling there, because you're saying also, well, this is what other people that have liked something similar have booked. Why not just go with this? So you're mixing the guest experience, so they feel like they're getting more options and more autonomy with their sale, or their purchase, in fact. And then you're putting in the suggestive sale side of it, because in fact, you're then optimizing revenue through that suggestive sale.
Exactly.
Not only that, the thing I really like, and the thing that I think hoteliers are going to absolutely love, is that's from a guest experience perspective. Then we look at the customer journey perspective, and it's all the way through to the back end.
Correct.
Which is like ticking every box from a customer perspective and a hotelier's perspective.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? We know these, well, I know them, because in the independent hotels, that's what they made so different. When you call a hotel and you have a great salesperson on the other side, that person sells you the room number 101, whatever, right? But that's the room that's still available. It will sell it to me completely different than it will sell it to you, depending on your trip purpose. That's what a good salesperson can do. But that is not scalable. And today, unfortunately, these people are no longer in the hotels, hardly, right? So you may have 1 or 2 really stars. They leave, they're not there anymore. And you need to know the hotel in and out. The bigger the hotel gets, the more difficult. And with our actually with this solution, right, you will still have your hotel, the clients who will call you, and that's fine. But you can reduce, I have one hotel had reduced 70% of all their bookings and email calls. Every room was different, and they love their hotel. They love every single room of them, right? But they can't manage anymore the phone call requests, because there are people who say, I just want to stay in this room. And fair, now they can do it. They can even get an availability just with that room and the calendar, and they can book it when it's next available. So that is what I believe the independent have such a huge opportunity. They could never use that unless you would have high manual efforts in making that possible, right? But that is not scalable. And B, labor cost, amount of stuff that you need to manage to keep it up, right? And with that, you can balance it out. You can keep a high level of quality. You can make many people happy. We have much better guest ratings. And as you know, better guest ratings, again, higher average rates, etc., right? So, and we are also able, through this approach, you change basically everything, not only the sales, but you change the way pricing can go, right?
Yeah.
Because suddenly this feature is preferred by many people. I found out that many people like walk-in showers. For me, was never a topic. But see, suddenly I see walk-in showers in some of our hotels. I see it's up on the top list in regards to favorite features, right?
Wow.
So it is
There you
really, you
go.
find out stuff because you don't know. These data points didn't exist.
Yeah.
So when you talk about OpenAI and all these other things, or
Yeah.
Google finding stuff, they cannot find this because it
Yes.
doesn't exist. It just exists in our heads, in common fields, in a lengthy,
Interesting.
in an experienced salesperson, but not in
Yeah.
data points. Now we have data points and we can make really decisions based on that. Renovations, changes of your
Yeah.
room. Now you know where to invest, right? So
No,
that
absolutely.
becomes comes afterwards, right? It changes
Yeah.
really the entire way how we sell and manage inventory. And if you think about it, this is where we make most of our money. And we have meanwhile so many great websites. I really
Yeah.
have to say hotels work very hard on creating stories, experiences. You have
Yes.
fantastic pictures and you
Yeah.
create that emotion. And then
Yeah.
it comes to the booking. Oh, you end up in the standard room.
True.
Right?
It's true.
So why can't you end up in the room that is suitable for me as a family? Do I care that you put me in a suite or in a superior? And I don't care. For me as
Yeah.
an end consumer, it doesn't mean anything. But if I know it's a room near the stairs, near the elevator, or next to the playground, or what have you, items that are relevant for me as a family and that I as a hotel can offer,
Yeah.
this is what I want to know. So I can cluster that. I can do that product. I can sell it like that. And tomorrow I sell, or on the same day, I can sell it also to the business traveler who stays for a longer time because it's suitable for a long stay business trip, right?
Yeah.
But then I highlight other stuff. I highlight that it's spacious. I highlight that it's quiet. It has a working desk, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. Can be the same room. I cannot fill the hotel with the same target group of people, but my set of categories doesn't reach this uh, all the different target groups I want to reach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I suppose when we're talking about target groups, that brings me on
Mm.
to my sort of next and final question. What are the big developments going on with GauVendi going forward? What are you guys focused on? I know it's obviously something that, again, that we've spoken about, but I know a
Yeah.
lot of people are going to be really interested with regards to our audience on future plans. So tell us what the plans are for the future for GauVendi.
Yeah. So obviously we're still young, right? So we
Yeah.
launched in May 2020. So first, now that we have our platform and we have various products out there, the sales engine is one of them, a
Yeah.
sales optimizer who prevents, overbookings of categories. Because of that logic, we have the automated room assignment, stuff like that. So we have various products. Now we're reaching out. Now we're ready to reach out really for the market. We're mainly, obviously, Europe is a big focus. The US is a focus. UK, we don't have any product hotels yet,
Ah.
unfortunately. But we have in the US, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, and Spain. So we want to grow obviously in the UK market, but we're also our aim is to really work with also all the technology providers and in
Yeah.
a partnership, because we can act, as I said, we can act as a layer, we can enhance other technologies,
Yeah.
we can improve
Yeah.
it. So obviously on the partner side, technology side, that's one thing. But the most important thing for us is really take the advantage as independent hotels,
Yeah.
to really give you power back, to own your distribution, to stand out and differentiate in your direct sales from third parties, because that
Yeah.
gives you that opportunity for people to really book direct, because you have a different proposition, right? It
Yeah.
creates it. This can create loyalty. It's a new loyalty. Actually, the big chains do it, right? They
Yeah.
enable
Yeah.
some options for people to choose if they're part of a loyalty program.
Mm-hmm.
Well, an independent hotel doesn't have to do this anymore, right?
No.
Now
Yeah. Yeah.
you can have a code, and you could say, hey guys, you can have personalize your room, but only if you stay 3 nights. For
Yeah.
1 or 2 nights, you book categories, because you will not, it doesn't make a difference for you. But when you stay 3 nights, choose, select your view, go, select the bedding, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You can decide on your strategy. And I hope, you know, in the UK, there's still many independent, wonderful boutique and small hotels, but also, you know, 100, 150 rooms, everyone can benefit from it, actually. Everyone who wants to change the way inventory is being managed, because it's where they can make more revenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And have happy clients. So it's, you know, win-win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to having a chat with me today. It's been so great to finally get you on, talking about obviously the tech solution and how it could potentially help hoteliers. And if you're tuning in this far and you are a hotelier, and as Carina said, if you'd like the power back in your hands with your hotel, then please do get in touch with Carina directly. We will pop her details below. We've also got a link for the demo. So there's a free demo that you can also book as well, I believe, with Carina or one of the team. And we'll put that link below as well. So if you'd like to find out more about how GauVendi may be able to help you, your hotel, your business, then please do get in touch with Carina. I know that GauVendi is very keen to penetrate the UK market, which is exactly why we're having this conversation today. I would love to catch up with you, Carina, in maybe a few months' time and see how that's going. And as ever, Edwards and Finn is more than happy to help raise awareness and engagement for you guys. I believe in the tech solution. I think what you're doing is amazing. The utilization of AI is inevitable. And the fact that you're an early adopter is a massive advantage to you guys. And I have no doubt that it's going to be a huge success in the UK. Carina, thank you again so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for your time.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are trying to grow it, as I said, so please do help us with that. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.